I'm Cole. This is my journey of becoming a professional soccer player, building a bootstrap business, and showing my journey to self-mastery. I make these videos to teach people how to create their ideal life. Today's video is focused on going all the way. The topics that I'm going to cover today are burning the boats, making a bet that you would rather die than do, setting clear and measurable terms, and then give yourself no other option but to do the work that you have to do. In my most recent videos, I've talked about urgency and focus and attention on trying to get your work done. But you have to give yourself no other option but to do the work. This is what the meaning of burn the boats is. If you've never heard of it before, I think the first mention of it is from the Spanish conquistador Cortez, where when they came to America, they burned the boats so the soldiers had no other option but to fight and conquer, otherwise they would die. Symbolically, what this means today is to give yourself no escape route, no other plan B, no other option but to do the work. A lot of people want to feel safe, want to feel secure. Having that feeling of being safe, even if you fail completely, makes you less likely to get the work done because you feel that it's not life or death. That life or death feeling will make you more motivated to do the work. The way that I'm going about it, I made this bet with my roommate. He is doing his own and hasn't told me what his yet, but I made a spec list for the first phase of my MVP for my calendar app. I told him that if I don't get everything done on that spec list by August 10th, or when he arrives in Spain, whichever one is later, I have a punishment. You have to make a bet for you that would be worse than death. Some examples of this would be you have to go up to talk to 100 girls. Another example that I actually used for this YouTube channel is that if I don't post a video every single day, then I have to text my last situationship saying something very cringe like, "You've been a bad girl." The social embarrassment I would get from texting her that I would rather die. I don't even care about this girl anymore. It's been 78 episodes, but at the time of me making it, it was a big deal. I made a YouTube video so that I didn't have to text her. No matter how I was feeling, no matter how the day went, I still managed to record something so that I could post it the next day before I went to sleep. You have to have the same way about the consequences that bad that you would rather do the thing no matter how you feel than skip a day. Now I have to come up with another one, and I'm in the process of that with my calendar app. I have a full spec list of what I have to do, and then a time by I have to do it by August 10th. And then the punishment, I'm still finalizing that with my roommate. We're both doing this together so that he can have his thing, which is going to be tied towards soccer, and I can have my thing, which is going to be tied towards my business. I'm not really having a problem right now with doing my soccer work, so the business is something I really need to focus on and lock in with. So that's why I'm doing it for that. After you have the consequence that you would rather die, you have to set clear and measurable terms. So as I talked about before, you have to have a date of when it's going to do by. You have to have someone else who's going to hold you accountable to carry out the punishment either for you or know that you did it. And then you have to have the terms of what you have to get complete by that time. All these three terms should be in writing so that you can't say later that like, oh, it wasn't a big deal, or there could be any room for misinterpretation. You don't want any ambiguity. You want that to be clear and set. You can do it by yourself, but I would definitely recommend doing it with someone else because they're going to be more likely to hold you accountable. But don't choose a friend if they aren't someone who's very reliable. If available, I would suggest to choose someone who also wants to do this as well and push themselves to be a better person. But if not, do it to yourself. Make a public commitment about what you're going to do. Either you can just make a YouTube channel and then post a video, or you could do it on your public Instagram or whatever social media you use. After you have the terms of the deal, you have to give yourself no other option. Having the consequence should motivate you to do as much work as you can. For me, this is the first day that I was working on my business, and I felt really focused on getting it done. I'd previously been multitasking, trying to do multiple things at one time. I found that it wasn't working for me. Today, I felt like I actually made progress on my business for the first time in a while. You'll have this myth that you think you're getting work done, but you can't really say anything that you accomplished at the end of the day. It just felt like you were getting work done. It's busy productivity, like checking email, or in my case, interacting with a coding agent, but not getting any progress on any of the features that you're working on. I actually got progress on some of the features that I was working on today. Although it wasn't great, I'm still figuring out how to properly use cursor in the way that I can fix the features, especially when it is stuck. But this is the first time I can say I actually made progress in a while, and I have my spec list. I have a lot of work to do. I don't have time to be lounging around and wasting time. I find that there's no reason to not try to go all the way in something. If you're going to do something in life, you might as well try to be the best. You should have one goal that sits above all. Your goal should be to be the best and nothing else. There's nothing I want to be all right. You can have intermediate goals saying you want to reach certain levels at certain times, but the end goal should be to be the best. It doesn't matter if you get there or not, but it will take you a lot farther than you would just aiming for a smaller hill instead of the entire mountain. For soccer, for me, I'm aiming to be the best player in the world. It sounds crazy. It sounds like, what are you talking about? You're an unknown player. You played in the 9th division of Spain this last semester. What the fuck are you thinking? But I'm confident that this mindset of me training to be the best in the world will take me farther than I would ever go with any other mindset. I have to think that I'm the best, that I'm training to be the best. I was doing it today. It was pushing me to go harder. It was pushing me to focus more. It was pushing me to be better because I have to embody what the best person in the world would have had to gone through in order to get to the spot of being the best in the world. Today, when I was doing my juggling, I switched up doing more controlled instead of just kind of open, and I had a bunch of failures. I'll put it up on screen now. I had multiple exercises in 10 plus attempts. This is not typical for me. Usually I can get each exercise in less than top 10 attempts and usually less than 5 attempts unless it is a bad day. But this new training is significantly harder for me. It's more controlled, but pushing myself to be better, it's gonna take a long time. I took 3 hours and 50 minutes to do my juggling, which is longer than it had been taking me, and I plan to this precise control to take me down shorter again, but have harder exercises. Doing these harder exercises is gonna take a little bit of time to get used to, so I took a lot of reps today. I hope in the future that I get better at them over time. I'll be able to see my progress. Today, I was thinking about when I was doing my other exercises that are similar, just a little bit more reps, about how I was getting to places and failing that I wouldn't have been able to get to 1 week or 2 weeks ago. And it was frustrating at the time because I wasn't getting to the goal. But when I thought about it, because I'm pushing myself so much and constantly raising my heights, I've gained so much in such a short amount of time. And that's because I'm trying to push to be the best I possibly can, which in my eyes is trying to be the best in the world. If possible, another good way to go all the way is to surround yourself with other people who are also on that path. They might have a different goal, but having other people who are pushing as hard as they can, you'll have similar ideas, similar mindsets. It's helpful to have the mindset of people around you. If you don't have that group around you, it's still possible for you to reach your goals, but you're gonna have to become an even stronger individual as you won't have that support of someone else who's going through the same thing as you and no one to ask questions to. You'll have ChatGPT, you'll have YouTubers who have gone through their journey and explained it, but you won't have that person you can talk to in real time and they can relate to you on your journey, which does make it a little bit harder, but that just means you'll be a stronger person in the end. Another way to make sure that you're really focusing on the work that you're doing, this is something that I'm gonna be implementing in my calendar app. By my first MVP, I'm going to try to have the entire calendar portion built out with AI augmentation worked in. Then the next part that I'm gonna be working on, I think will be really useful to giving you no choice but to do the work. Screen blocking is essentially burning the boats. The way that I'm thinking about implementing it right now is that when you are working on a certain task, you would have certain pages that you're available to access during that task. So for example, when I'm doing my Amplify, I would be able to access Cursor. I would be able to access Vercel, which is the hosting platform for websites, my website, Amplify Productivity, the dev environment, so localhost 3001, and Supabase. Otherwise, I'm not able to access anything. I'm not able to access my email. I'm not able to access even ChatGPT or Gemini, not able to access my nutrition app. I can only access what I need to work on because I'll be focused. I'll give myself no other option. I can either not use my computer at all and just stare at a wall, or I can do the work. Knowing me, I would rather do the work than stare at the wall. If you do not have access to screen blockers, then you're gonna have to be a little bit more disciplined. And I would suggest only keeping the tabs open that you need in order to do the work. X out of everything else, even if you've had the tabs open, it's very convenient. X out of it. You need to do the work. You can't allow anything to even creep into your mind thinking that you can just take a break or check this real quick. You need to focus on what you're doing and what you're doing only. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good night. Day 79 complete. Good night. Here's my scorecard for today. I feel like I am just operating at 60 to 70% of myself. I have times on the calendar where I'm not doing the work I should be doing. Plus, I'm not going to sleep when I should be. So I have to do a better job of that. Especially after dinner, I tend to watch YouTube or do something else to try to relax at the end of the day, but it's hurting my next day. So that's where I really have to improve.